my bags. Cause I know you don't want to hear this. Cause you think he too cool. They think that brother cool. They think that brother cool. They think that brother cool. They say it's swag on. They say that brother cool. They think that brother cool. He think he really a cool. I think that boy's a fool. They think that brother cool. They think that brother cool. They think that brother cool. Say that it's swag on. They think that brother cool. They think that brother cool. He think he really a cool. I think that boy's a fool. Showing I'm in it. I'm straight about the father business. The people in prison. I'm about to go make me a visit. If we talking about love, you know it come with conditions. Gotta tell me forever. That is with no intermissions. I buried the fiction and threw away the excuses. No sick days, I cancer. I'm on my boots. I got the truth in my corner. I'm a long way from the corner. Never denying the facts. I'm gonna walk it with honor. Tell blind men see through music, that's Stevie Wonder. Even though a lion, a predator, gotta pray in the jungle. A meek man shall have the earth, that's why I stay humble. A scared man, a dead man, ain't talking that mumble. I don't put words in the jumble. I do not scrabble the babble. Beloved be leading the boat, and he gonna pick up a paddle. As long as you're who beside me, we join at the hip like a Siamese. Like it be sorta like ice cream. You eat it too fast, you get brain freeze. When closing my eyes, I see palm trees. Open them up to a harsh dream. They working with crap, but it's not cheese. That's us a remake them OD. Never retire, I keep it rolling. Speaking in general, calling power. All I desire is keep it going. I ain't gonna never throw in the towel. True. They think that brother cool. They think that brother cool. They think that brother cool. They say it's swag on. They say that brother cool. They think that brother cool. He think he really a cool. I think that boy's a fool. They think that brother cool. They think that brother cool. They think that brother cool. Say that it's swag on. They think that brother cool. They think that brother cool. He think he really a cool. I think that boy's a fool.
Go over there and get Sweetie Pie's phone there.
Password.
What are you trying to get on Facebook? Man. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Let me see that. Oh, man. Shoot. What you talking about?
Hey, we'll get it together for me.
Y'all bear with me 1 second, man. I tell you.
Get it together for me then.
These old heads, boy, they ain't got nothing on no phone. They don't even need no phone.
Yeah, that's all I use it for to talk.
I'm trying to figure out. Okay.
I gotta get a new one, man. I don't know what happened.
This is all you gonna need right here. Okay, shalom, brothers and sisters. We're coming back. And, a false balance.
According to Wikipedia, false balance, also both sidesism, is a media bias
Okay, here
in
we
which
go.
journalists
This is
present
what
an
we're
issue
gonna
as
do
being
here.
more balanced between opposing
What we're
viewpoints
gonna do.
than the evidence supports.
Now, we're going to start this video right here. This is going to be part 2. This is going to be part 2. Like to say shalom to all the brothers and sisters. This is going to be part 2 of, what did we title that thing? We titled that last piece dealing with our sisters on accepting the righteous judgment of the Most High. But now, there are some things that we're going to look at. Now, here we go. Let's take out running. We got Proverbs 11:1. What did it read?
Proverbs 11:1. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord.
A false balance is an abomination to the Most High. A false balance is an abomination. And so, video's going to always be balanced. Because while we was dealing with our sisters, I sent the declaration out when I first made the video that I didn't want brothers piggybacking off of anything that I was saying, coming back with anything that women was doing. However, we did have brothers piggybacking off of what I was saying and talking about what other women was doing. But the book said a false balance is an abomination unto the Most High. So with that being said, I'm going to say the same thing to the sisters. I don't want no sisters chiming in, piggyback riding on anything that's about to be said about the brothers. Now, in most cases, I'm not going to say in all, in most cases when we're talking about the sisters and a bunch of brothers piggyback riding and then talking about what this woman didn't do, what that woman did, what that woman did, and then when we do a video on the brothers and the sisters come in and start talking about what that man did, what that man didn't do, what that man did, then those people right there have still not gotten the message, because they're still too busy looking at each other in order to see the fault in their own self, because that sister's accountability is not to you, brother. And that brother's accountability is not to you, sister. Each one of us have accountability to the Most High. And we're not going to have no false balance and deal with the sisters and then leave the brothers out. That's a false balance. It's a false balance, because everybody's in the same position, in the same category. And we're going to use the same set of scriptures that we used on the first video. We're going to use the same set of scriptures on the first video, on this video that we used on the first video. The only difference is going to be the righteous judgment that the Most High put on Adam was different from the righteous judgment that the Most High put on Eve. That's the only thing that's going to be different. Everything else is going to be the same. We're going to use the same set of scriptures that we use to dealing with our sisters. We're going to do that with our brothers. So we look at Genesis 3rd chapter. We'll look at Genesis 3rd chapter. Let me see that. We'll look at that Genesis 3rd chapter. Genesis 3rd chapter. And we'll go. Now, to bring everybody up to speed, we dealt with the righteous judgment that the Most put on the sister when he said, unto her, her husband shall have rule over her. And we looked at the fact of how sisters, that's the one thing that they fight against, and it stops them from receiving the full totality of the Most High's blessing, because they are in rebellion against his righteous judgment. So now we want to deal with our brothers, because the Father put righteous judgment on Adam as well as he did with Eve. And that's what we're going to look at now. Okay. Start reading that verse 8. I got my big brother here with me.
Shalom. Verse 8. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam said, Salaki. And Adam and his wife.
Oh, that's Salakia stuff, man.
Well, okay. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou?
Now notice this. It says that on the cool of the day, the Most High came walking through the garden, and Adam and Eve was together, and then they ran and hid themselves. And it said, but the Most High said unto Adam, and he was probably hiding. Him and Eve was hiding together, but he never called Eve. He said unto Adam, what'd he say?
Where
are you, boy? And what did Adam say?
And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself.
Stop right there. Now, when the Most High called for Adam, and Adam is represented in us, the men, the first thing he asked Adam is, where are you, boy? That's the question that the Most High is asking of many of our brothers. Where are you? Because before you can even come in contact with the righteous judgment of the Most High, you first must be able to identify where you are at. The Most High didn't ask Adam that because he couldn't find him. He was asking Adam, where is he at? Because Adam needed to come face to face with the understanding of where he had fallen from and where he was at now. So he said, where are you? And Adam recognized what he had done. He said, well, I was naked I hid myself. And see, it's many of our brothers that the Most High calling you out and say, where are you? And then you come out of the bushes and you say the reason why you was hiding is because you know that you was wretched. You know that you was naked. You know that you was messed up. This was the condition of many of our brothers. There was the condition of many of our brothers. When you had a decent woman, this was the condition. I was naked and I was ashamed and I was afraid because I was in a miserable condition and a raggedy man. So I hid myself from the face of the Most High. While the woman stuck by your side, even in spite of your nakedness and your wretchedness. But when the Most High came and declared, Adam said, look, I was naked. I hid myself. I was ashamed because I knew I wasn't doing right. I knew I had failed. I know I done the wrong thing. One of the greatest things about brothers is that we have a tendency sometimes to get selective amnesia. All of us can do it. All of us can do it. Because see, so the brother now that's in the word, that's studying and learning Hebrew and quoting the scriptures and all that, he can get selective amnesia real easy when it comes to the things that a sister have done laboring in there with him, or the women that you were involved with before you got the other sister, the women that was being stepped on and kicked around and slapped in the face and cheated on and all of that. We get selective amnesia and we forget. So remember when I was telling y'all about how when we taught the children, Hosea 3rd chapter, about the things that their mother was doing and how I pleaded with their mother and this and that and the other. But before I got to that point, we had to understand that Adam was in a miserable and a wretched condition, was a habitual cheater, a good dope smoking, pistol toting, shooting people, spending all day in the street type of dude, neglecting the one that the Most High had meant for me to be responsible for. It was a selective amnesia. And many of our brothers have this same trait right now. And you have to come face to face with that, because it is when you come face to face with the condition that you was in when the Most High called you out, then you understand how valuable it is to weather any storm that comes against your house. When it comes to the wife that the Most High had blessed you with. You see, all through the scripture, we see Adam and Eve live their days out together, no matter what storm that they went through. One son rose up jealous of another son, killed the son, and now the promise that was made to her seemed like it ain't gonna happen. And Adam to the point where she ain't have sex with Adam for another 100 years, according to the scripture. At 325 years later, Adam gave birth and Eve gave birth to Seth because of the condition that she was in. He labored with her the whole time, because he assumed the responsibility that she would not been in that condition if he would obey the Most High's commandment. So no man nowhere has a right to piggyback on anything that is said to the women, because any relationship that falls apart, it is the man's fault. It could never be the woman's fault. Whether it's the man's fault because he didn't trust the Most High enough to lead him to the right woman, or whether it's the man's fault for another reason. It could never be her fault. It's your fault. It's Adam's fault. So he asked Adam, where are you? Adam came out the bush and said, I was afraid because I was naked. And I was, you know what I'm saying? So I ran and hid. So he said, well, you know what? Come out of them bushes, boy. What else we got?
What he said. And he said, who told thee that thou wast naked?
Who told you was naked? Who told you was naked? You'll be surprised at how many of the brothers listen to everything else, but they ain't listening to nothing that the Most High have to say. Adam don't even know nothing about being naked. Who told you you was naked? Who told you that you was in that condition? Keep going.
Hast thou eaten of the tree?
But see, the Most High is a discerner of the hearts, and he knows what's in the heart of every man. And so when stuff start falling apart, he knows exactly what happened to make it fall apart. Even though it looked like it was Eve's fault. At the end of the day, the Most High knew what was in Adam's heart. Even though it may look like it was my ex-wife's fault for leaving, the Most High knew that it was really my fault. Because had I been standing in the footsteps, in the place of obedience where I was supposed to be, that woman would have been protected. And that thing that the Most High put me in charge of would have never been torn apart. But many of our men want to run out and do what Adam do and start blaming each other. Keep going.
Whereof I command thee that thou should not eat.
He said, did you eat of the tree that I told you not to eat from? Keep going.
And the man said,
and he said,
the woman,
this woman
whom thou gavest
that you gave me,
be with me,
she the one that made me do it.
She gave me of the tree,
and that's
and
what
I did eat.
And that's what we do even to this day. That's why we could be doing a video dealing with the woman, and here come a man piggyback riding on his white horse, thinking that he got somebody on his team, but he's sadly mistaken, because the word of the Most High is sharper than a two-edged sword. It don't just cut one way. It cut both ways, baby. It cut both ways. Because the same thing saying to that woman that won't accept his righteous judgment, he is saying to the man that won't accept it. And in time, and when we as men, only thing we can do is talk about the thing that the sister ain't doing, is because we ourselves have not accepted the Most High's righteous judgment. For when we accept that, you won't be able to look at nothing that no woman is doing.
And the Lord God said unto the woman.
Go, skip down to where he said to Adam.
Okay. And I will put enmity.
Go on down.
Okay. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife.
Uh-oh, watch out. Somebody's about to get touched. Somebody's about to get touched, because many of us as Adam, in a miserable and a wretched condition, the Most High puts a decent woman in our path. He said, but because thou hast hearkened to the voice of a woman, you are in this condition, and I'm about to curse you, because many men would never step out on their wives if they were not listening to the voice of Eve in their ear, telling them how wonderful they are, how nice they are. Oh, they just glad to be around. When you know that you got a wife that love you at home, but you hearken, because you have hearkened to the voice of that woman, what he gonna do?
And has eaten of the tree.
And you eaten of the tree of the forbidden fruit of adultery and outside fornication against the holy thing that the Most High had given you. He said, because you listened to what other women had to say. When you had a decent woman that you paid no attention. Oh, baby, I was talking about myself now. That's why it hurt so bad. That's why it hurt so bad going through a divorce. Because when you lose it all, now you can see clearly, but it boomerangs back and you can't blame her, but because you was listening to other women and tipping outside of your house and creeping around and sneaking and peeping and running and hiding with somebody else that wasn't your wife. He said, now this is what's about to happen to you.
Of which I command thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake.
You see? Adam had everything that he needed. He had everything that he needed. But because he hearkened to the voice of another woman, all of what the Most High had put in his care now began to crumble. This is the sad memories of a disgraceful man that's walking outside of the will of the Most High. You see? That's what it is. That's what it is. You see, I'm trying to get a video a chance to quit skipping. So that's what it is. Now, so I said, the good thing that you didn't appreciate, I just take my time watching Facebook, just gonna skip me to death. But anyway, The good thing that he had, everything began to crumble. And everything began to crumble, just like in my case too. And sometimes people would see what I was doing. Now I'm handling the kids, and now I'm going to church, and now I'm doing a good thing, and now I'm doing this. And in other people's eyes from the outside, it looked like, oh, she's just kicking him around. Oh, she's just kicking him around. She's just kicking him around. And you got to be careful, because a man, you can soak all that sensitivity up and know that the only reason why you getting kicked around is because of your wretchedness and your raggedness. And now that you are moving into another place, you expect that everything is supposed to turn around with that woman. But you're sadly mistaken, because the Most High is not mocked. For God does not tempt man, neither can he be tempted by things or by men. But man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust. And when lust hath conceived in the mind, it brings forth sin. And when sin is done, it brings forth death. And so the majority of the things that die in a man's life, they are born because he is tempted by hearing the voice of another woman. And once that thought is conceived in his mind, once he visualized her naked, once he done figured out how he can loophole and get away with it, once he done figured out what hotel that they can go meet in, he said that lust have conceived. Now it's going to bring forth the adulterous act of sin. And when he get out of that bed, what he don't know is that sin is going to bring forth death. So the woman that loved him to death, the woman that labored with him and hung in there with him, now she is crumbling right before his very eyes. And he don't want to identify with the fact that it is the righteous judgment of the Most High, because you have been a partaker of the fruit. You should have never listened to the voice of the outside woman and become a partaker of what she was offering. But because you did, now the marriage dies. And when a marriage begin to die for a man, he'll stop everything. He'll stop hanging with his buddies. He'll stop going to the club. He'll stop doing all of the things that he used to do, trying to hang on to that woman that he recognized loves him. But it's too late, because judgment is coming. Everything is going to die. That's how it goes. Because you ate from something that we wasn't supposed to eat from. Because you was listening to somebody that you shouldn't have been listening to. Keep going.
In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life.
In sorrow. In sorrow. And there are many brothers that are in sorrow. And you will stay in sorrow until you can come to understand that the things that you're faced with right now in a bad situation are a result of the righteous judgment of the Most High. And when you can confess and fall on your face and declare before the Lord, it was me that was to blame. It was me that was to blame. I'm the one that cracked it and messed up. And you can bring that up under the obedience of the Most High's righteous judgment. Then restoration is on the way. But Adam, he got a habit of blaming the women. He don't want to see himself as though he's some upstanding gentleman. Now that he has the Apocrypha and the King James 16:11. Now that he knows how to say Salakia and Barakatah and Shalom, he thinks that all of those things, all of that wretchedness and that filthiness, he thinks that all of a sudden he's supposed to be restored. But he's sadly mistaken. You see? That you have to labor to get back into the graces of the Most High. You have to labor, and you have to be of a humble spirit. You see? So we twist it and we turn the tables around so that our sisters can understand. There are some things that will turn a sister's heart cold. You see, we never was talking about the wicked woman and the wicked man. We were always talking about the children of the Most High that's seeking to serve him, but have a struggle accepting his way. We never was talking about the wicked. So you can have some God-fearing, godly women, that are desiring to do the Most High's will, but just struggling in a particular area. Most of the time that women struggle in particular areas, sometimes it don't even have nothing to do with the man that they are with. Sometimes it has something to do with the previous men that they have come in contact with that was naked and wretched and hiding in the bushes. So let's get it right and let the truth be told for what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And you look, I ain't seen not one of my sisters come on here and say nothing about a man. But old wretched Adam, he sure got something to say about them sisters. But see, the Most High put the spotlight on your heart because he know exactly where you at. You see? So, you know. Now, let's go to, give me that. We're going to use the same scriptures that we used on the sisters. Same ones. 1 Corinthians 11th chapter.
Here is some information for 1 Corinthians chapter 11. According to Wikipedia,
I don't need no information from you. Just give me the chapter.
In the New Testament of the
Yep.
Christian Bible.
Come on, brothers, let's go.
Paul the Apostle and Sosthenes in
Come on,
Ephesus.
brothers, let's go. Let's read. Let's read. We're going to look at the divine order that what we spoke on with the sisters. This is the balanced message. This is part 2 of accepting the righteous judgment of the Most High. Come on, read.
Corinthians 11th chapter. Be ye followers of me.
Start at the 3rd verse.
Oh, okay. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
The head of every man is Christ.
And the head of the woman is the man.
And the head of the woman is the man.
And the head of Christ is God.
And the head of Yeshua is the Most High. Now let's look at the order. God is the head of Christ. Christ is the head of man. And man is the head of woman. Let me tell you something, baby. Many of our brothers, you have had that good woman already. You have had that woman that was submissive to you. You have had that woman that done what you, that dealt with you, that hung in there with you. You had that woman when you was out at 4 o'clock in the morning on dope, getting high with your boys. You had that woman stumbling around in the club while you was half drunk. You had that woman while you was chasing every skirt that you could get your hands on. You had it. You had it. And she labored with you. And she hung in there with you. And even in spite of the fact that you came home to break bad news telling her that you had got somebody else pregnant, she still labored with you. She labored with you when you had to go pick the outside child up and keep him and do your fatherly part. On the weekends, she was the one that set the plate down before the child that you cheated on her with, enduring that pain and that hurt on behalf of you. Where was Christ at as your head? You see, Christ wasn't your head. So the Most High said, I'm going to take this good thing away from you. Because if you're not good enough to follow me, if I can't get your attention, if you won't tell me how good I am, man, how bad I am, man, how lovely I am, man, if you won't thank me for the day, thank me that the sun is shining, thank me for the job, the car, the clothes, if you don't thank me for that, I'll close this woman up and she won't have nothing for you. Many of our brothers have lost their good things because they would not pattern themselves after her. She patterned herself and honored the Most High by hanging in there with you and praying for you till she could get a breakthrough and a change. But you refuse to make Christ the love of your life. And as a result of that, he began to strip you for everything that you had. So he took that woman away. He said, you don't love me enough to tell me how bad I am. He said, guess what? I'll close this woman up. And she was the one that's supposed to make you feel good. But because you won't come and tell me how much I mean to you, I'll stop her from telling you how much you mean to her. And many of our brothers need to come to understand that some of the things that you are going through are a direct result of something that you yourself won't follow. Because we want all of the women to respect us as Sarah called Abraham Lord, while we don't respect the Lord of glory, Yeshua HaMashiach. Well, I don't have no time for Yeshua HaMashiach, but I want this woman to spend her every waking minute with me. God, the Most High said, oh no, baby. It don't work like that, brother. It don't work like that, Adam. You better come out of them bushes. That's what that is. You better come out of them bushes. You see? You ain't even got wicked men out here that had the audacity to tell a woman, hey, well, the Bible say you supposed to obey your husband. Yeah, but my obedience to my husband is a conditional based on whether my husband is being obedient to Christ. Because that's the divine order. You're not going to tell me, man, that you can pull yourself out of divine order and that woman's still going to be able to operate in a way that pleases the Most High. You're sadly mistaken, son. Sadly mistaken. You see? You see? Hosea was a righteous man. And he was dealing with a rebellious woman. But there are some wicked men that are hooked up with some righteous women that are going to face the same fate that Hosea's wife Gomer faced. You think that you such this and that and the other because women are whispering in your ear, trying to pull you away from your wife, and you think that once you get away, do you know how many men have forsook their wives and got a divorce only to marry their mistress and end up in a worse condition because the Most High ain't never blessing that? But you deceived because you're in rebellion against the Most High's will, and you don't accept the righteous judgment that he has put on you. Know how many women, how many men in that condition? So Gomer was a prophet. But some of these sisters out here are righteous women that have been hooked up with raggedy men that think because somebody's whispering in their ear that they love them. They say the same thing that Gomer said. I'll chase after my lovers. They're going to supply me. Oh, Betty, she always going to give me a piece of her paycheck. Hey, man, shoot, she paid my car payment this month. And you start to believe the hype. You start to believe the hype, and you don't want to deal with your wife because she got so much character in her and so much God in her that you can't pull that nonsense off on her. And so just the fact of having to look at her becomes a reflection of a mirror that you don't want to look at because that righteousness is radiating off of her, and it makes you want to go and be with Sally or Betty. And you think, I'll chase after my lovers. They'll chase after my lovers. They'll give me my... But you didn't realize that it was the Most High that was blessing you with your oil and your corn and your wine, because he that finds a good thing, he that finds a wife, find a good thing and attain the Lord's favor. And you didn't realize that the only reason why you was doing those things is because of the Lord's favor that was radiating off of that wife in your life, causing you to move a certain way. You thought it was the job that was giving you your money. But when you lost that wife, you lost the Most High's favor, and he took his job back. He took his car back. He took his keys back. He took everything back that he had gave you because you didn't understand where it was coming from. I'll holler if y'all hear me. I know some brothers out there in that condition. I know it because I've been one of them. I've been one of them to walk up and put the key in the lock only to find out that the key don't work no more. I've been the one that had to go to sleep in the driveway in my car. I've been the one that had to take a bath in the sink or go somewhere. I've been the one, baby. I've been there already. I've been there already. You see? And you think to yourself, oh yeah. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Because you think you got it going on. And you think it's you. But it's really all that goodness is coming into your life because of what's radiating off of that woman, because of the Father's favor that's on her life. And then when she start sidestepping the show and going on about her business, well, you got the prideful approach. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I don't beg no woman. I'm this, that, the other. I got this, that, the other. But let that woman get away. You see, that's why men can't handle it. Men flip out and then go murder women. Men flip out and kill themselves behind a woman. Men crawl in a bottle and never come back out. Men put a pipe in their mouth and die crack addicts. Men go through all of them things because they can't handle that when it happened to them. They'll beg, they'll fight, they'll try to shoot anybody that comes near what they're losing. But when they had it, they did not abide in what they were supposed to do. And the Most High said, you thought that it was you. You thought that Sally was going to be on your team. You thought that Betty was going to be on your team. But once you got away from them and your life started crumbling, you started realizing that it wasn't Sally and Betty. It was the woman that you had at home praying for you day in and day and night. Oh, Lord, bless my husband. Oh, I know he ain't right, Father. Oh, I know he's corrupt. Oh, give me faith to hang in there with him. It was that woman that was weeping and crying and dragging the kids. It was that woman. It wasn't you. And when you start losing everything, and you see the Most High blessing her, and you know it's just a matter of time before he bless her with a knight in shining armor, riding in on a horse, ready to snatch her handkerchief up. You know it's just a matter of time before that happens. So you lose your mind. I don't know. Y'all know some brothers like that. I'm talking about myself now. I literally lost my mind. And I tried everything in the world to get the Father's favor back. And some brothers is trying to get the Father's favor back, but you can't get it back one way. You got to go through the same process. The same process that it took to mess it up is the same process. The road that you travel down, you got to travel the same road back. If you stayed out there 10 years, you got to travel back 10 years. The sad part about it is that when you make your journey back 10 years going through the same thing, the only thing is the reason why you done it is no longer there. The house ain't there. The woman ain't there. The children ain't there. But you still got to make the same journey, baby. You still got to make the same journey. Yep. And when you get back, that woman will not be there because the Most High removed that from you. And that's your portion. To live with the fact that I messed up. I messed up. Oh, yeah, will the Most High restore? Yeah, he'll restore. But you got to go through the process. And see, many of you brothers, you're delaying and stagnating your process because you're still doing what Adam did. Man, it's the woman that you gave me. It's the woman that you gave me. When the Bible is saying, listen, when Adam really understood, he stopped blaming Eve. And he said, okay, I accept my punishment. It was my fault. This is what I got to do. I got to go out here and work and sweat every day to do these things. This is what I got to do. Okay, I'm willing to do it. And men have a sick sense of thinking. We think that we can do everything under the sun for as long as we want. And then when we start praying and start reading the scripture, the Most High just going to give us what we had right back. That's a sick, twisted thinking. You don't understand. The Most High said, what you had is dead. It's gone. It ain't never coming back again. So either you're going to do what you do as a gift to me because now you understand, or you might as well just quit because you can't manipulate me. And many of you think that you can manipulate the Father into getting the woman that's leaving back, but you can't do it. You can't manipulate the Father. The Father said the woman leave him. She's part of the judgment that I put on you to bring you to a place to where you recognize it was me. It wasn't a woman. I funneled these blessings through the woman. So if you're going to come back to me, it ain't going to be based on whether or not I tried everything under the sun. I'll pray to you, Lord. I'll pray to you. Just send the wife back. Just send my, I'll start going to church. I won't miss nothing. Just send my wife back. And eventually, the Spirit kicked in and said, hey, you can't negotiate with the Most High. I don't negotiate with people. I'm too great to negotiate with anybody. Either you coming back to me on your own with a pure motive and a pure conscience and ready to serve me, or stay gone. Because I ain't never giving her back. And if that's the reason why you're coming, don't even come. You see? So that man that thought that he could do without that woman, the Most High said, I know you think, but everything you chase after is going to fail you. Gomer said, I'm going to chase after my lovers. And I'm going to get my rewards. And the Most High said, you know what? I'm going to head your way up with thorns. You ain't going to chase after nothing. Everything that you touch going to crumble. This is the condition that some of our brothers are in right now. Everything you touch going to crumble because of your mindset. And your mindset wasn't in the place to accept the righteous judgment of the Most High and allow Christ to have rule over you. You want to have rule over the woman, but you don't want Christ to have rule over you. And that's a false balance. That's a false balance. So you have to be broken to the point to where you're willing for the Most High to have rule over you. I'm just telling you my story because I'm speaking to the brothers. I try to manipulate the Most High in every way imaginable. But I know one thing. It was only because I didn't want to lose what I had. And what I was losing, it wasn't even all about that. I was just so head over heels that I could never get over it. It was because of the Proverbs 30. It said that husband is known in the gates. He sit among the elders because of what this woman is doing. Let's let the truth be told, brother. Let's let the truth be told. Did the woman provide the house that you live in, or did you provide it? When you first came into it, did you come with the vehicle and the keys, or did you start off driving her vehicle? Let's let the truth be told. It wasn't what the man had. It was what was radiating off of the woman. Because if you really let the truth be told, I will go as far as to say 80% of the men start the relationship by moving in with a woman that already has established house. For a wise woman builds her house, but a foolish one tears it down with her own hands. Let's let the truth be told. When that woman was going to work, who was taking her to work in her car, dropping her off? Then riding around, playing games like a little boy because you didn't know where you was at, Adam. Where are you? Are you moved into responsibility and manhood, assuming the responsibility for the wife and the children? Or are you still in the streets, ripping and running at night, still out there wanting to play in the park like a little child? You tell me, where is Adam? Where is Adam? I remember the first time I heard a message like this, I was in that condition. And I've listened to the old preacher, T.D. Jakes, when he had a good spirit in him for the people. And to spit that out, where are you, makes you identify with where you at. Have I entered into the place of manhood, or I'm at a place of pretension? Because our sisters had to go and pretend when everything crumbled. They had to pretend. So when the Most High put it on our heart to say, give me my key back. Give me my car key back. Where are you? When you have to go into a place of pretension because the boys don't see you rolling like you used to. The boys don't see you dressing and looking as good as you used to because now you're jumping house to house and you're at your sister's house one week and then you're at your mama's house the next week and you're sleeping in the basement of your grandma's house the next week and you got to pretend like everything is all right, but you've been stripped butt naked. He said, lest I strip you naked. You've been stripped butt naked before all the people that knew you had a good woman that watched your foolishness. And though you try to pretend, they know and they talk about it. Man, he done lost such and such. Man, he had it made. I would have gave my right arm for that woman. How could he be so stupid? And then you reach for the 1611 because you heard the brothers preaching on the street corner and you found out that you was an Israelite and you started learning a few things and you thought you could impress somebody or manipulate the Most High into getting back what he cut off. But you can't get it like that. You'll become even as a thief and a robber. So, let's let the truth be told. I'm not saying every man. Every man don't go through this. I'm speaking to the men, the would-be men that will serve the Most High, but don't understand they're having a wrestling and a struggling because they can't accept the righteous judgment of the Most High. They want to get everything back quick. Even though you caused damage for 20 years, you want it back tomorrow. But it don't happen like that. So the Most High said, I'm going to hedge up my way with thorns. And he ain't going to be able to find his path. Once I get through breaking things, he ain't going to find his path. He going to be having trouble. That nigga went from rolling good in a nice new car because her credit was good and everything. And then I see him with a bus pass. You ain't got to tell me. That's what I'm saying. But this is life. You know what I'm saying? This is life, man. And you got to want that thing back. And let me share it with you. Because I ain't making fun of my brothers. What I'm doing is I'm sharing my testimony with y'all at the same time. You don't know it. But when I understood that I couldn't manipulate the Most High, and I understood that there was a possibility that my wife wasn't never coming back. When I had to look her in the face, jump in the car and ride down the street with another man and couldn't do nothing about it. Because see, every time I wanted to flip out and act a fool, the Most High said, I double dare you to act a fool. How do you think that you can fix yourself to act a fool when you look at all the damage that you had created? When you look at all of the mistreatment that you have caused, you're not the one in authority to be able to say anything about her. You don't even have a house. And you can't cry about the kids. You can't even cook the kids no food because you don't even have a house. He said, you better take it. Take your medicine. It was fine when you was doing it. So take your medicine. And it was hard. It was difficult. It was hard. It was difficult. Sometimes I'd smoke until I couldn't smoke no more because I needed to forget. I needed to become numb to what I was feeling. There was not enough alcohol that I could drink to escape the madness that I had found myself into. And I was too ashamed. When I had that woman and all that goodness was radiating off of me, and I was doing good and I was flourishing, you know, the Most High blessing, I thought it was me. And I was doing everything under the sun. I ain't even thinking about it. But when you get broke, you do everything. I found myself doing things that I'd never done, things I vowed I wouldn't do, just to keep myself living the next day. There was some time that I would pace the floor with a loaded gun, wondering whether I should shoot myself or whether I should just go by there and kill her so that the pain could stop. That is what I dealt with. But I was in that condition because I was having trouble accepting the righteous judgment that the Most High was putting on me. And we was losing. And though you talk tough and you prideful and everything when it happened, once you get away and step outside of the Father's will, he heads your way up with thorns and things begin to die. And you can't find your way no more. Then you suddenly realize that the Most High was blessing you to find your way because you was joined at the hip with the woman that he had gave you. Hear me, brothers. This is happening to more brothers that you would believe. And it's yet to happen to some brothers tomorrow because they don't understand these things. So we're talking about them. But I got broken to the point. When I realized that it was over, I could have murdered. And the Most High said, well, you've been praying the whole time about it. You've been praying the whole time about it. He said, I know it's tough. He said, I'm getting a kick out of it. He said, but I chose the toughest thing that you was ever going to have to deal with, the toughest thing you was ever going to have to get over. It was going to be humorous to me, watching me put the worst situation you could ever see in your life on you and watching you climb over it. He said, I'm going to make sure I put it on you because you ain't going to get over it unless you reach for me with your whole heart. And you'll be so glad to be accepted by me that you don't even care nothing about the woman no more. And that's what the Most High did to me. He hit me in an area, man, that everything in me died. And I still had pride Because I didn't want nobody. I still got pride. Pride to make you pretend that everything is all right when it ain't. So you'll smile in front of people. And I was a hairstylist. And I'll have women coming through the door all day long. And you'll smile and you'll jump. But you can't wait till the last person leave so you can go in there and weep like a baby because you're hurting that bad. You don't no longer even care about women. You don't want to cheat on nothing now. You just want up out of this mess. And you know what? The Most High cracked me. One morning I had been up smoking. I'd been up smoking crack all night. I just tossed to and fro. And I heard a still, small voice of the Spirit saying, go to church. Because contrary to what any of y'all say, the Bible is in church. Go to church. I got something I want to say to you. I said, man, I can't go to church. I can't let these people see me like this, in this condition. You're talking about the player now. You're talking about the one that the Most High created the world for. You're talking about Mr. Flamboyant himself. You know, like Richie say. What did he say? He say, he Richie Rich, the booty grinder, the sweet spot finder. You're talking about that one. You're talking about the one that thought he was God's gift to all the women in the world. That I couldn't go in there like that. So the Father sent the evil spirit to begin to torment me with thoughts of suicide. And then I became desperate. And I said, okay, I'll go to church. I'll go to church. I don't want to kill myself. I'll go to church. So I jumped in my car and I'm riding down the highway. And the Most High said, you know, that small, still voice is still with me. Because I'm hurting bad, and all I want is some relief. I don't care how I got to get it. I don't want to die to get it, and I don't want to hurt nobody to get it. But I want to get it, and now I'm willing to go through whatever it takes. So that small voice said, you know, when you get down to that church, I just want you to go down there to the middle of the church, and then I just want you to stretch out in the floor. And I said, you got to be kidding me. I promise to God. I promise on everything that I love, man. This is my testimony. I said, you got to be kidding me, Father. I will go to church, but I can't do that. They're going to laugh at me. They're going to talk about me. You can't negotiate with the Father. For that same spirit he sent before I got in my car to torment me with thoughts of suicide, he sent it back while I was riding down the highway. As soon as I was coming across a bridge, that spirit leaped in my car and said, just turn the wheel and it'll be over. And it frightened me so bad that I hit the gas. And I said, if the Father just let me make it across this bridge, I'm going to do whatever he instructed me to do. I pulled up on that church parking lot. I threw my car in park. Remember, my wife is there. My sisters are there. My brothers is there. My children are there. And every church member that I know is there. And the place got visiting churches there. And it's packed. And I threw my car in park. And I ran up those steps, and I pulled the doors open, and I ran down the aisle, and I stretched out on the floor, prostrate, and I wept like a baby. And I told the Most High, right there, if you don't raise me up off of this floor, then I won't get up. I'm going to die in this condition. Right. We have some brothers out there right now that are on the brink of self-destruction because you will not do what the Most High say. And I went in that church, and I stretched out in that floor. And yes, they did laugh at me. They did talk about me. They said everything. But when it was over, the Most High gave me peace through the 2nd chapter of Corinthians. He said, I knew that they was going to laugh at you. And I knew that they was going to talk about you. But you read these scriptures, because before I could get to my sister's house, her phone was ringing, and it was my comrades and my cousins them, and the word had spread, and they're all laughing. We heard he flipped out in church, We heard he flipped out and he fell apart. They all laughed at me, and I felt this little. And the Most High gave me a scripture. He said, those things of the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but those things of the spirit mind the things of the spirit. And the flesh cannot comprehend the workings of the spirit. He said, I chose the floor for a reason. He said, because all of those that seen you on the floor will come to know that when they see the wonderful work that I do in your life from this day, they will know that they can't get this unless they're willing to put their face on the floor and give it all up. And that's what the Most High done for me. And that's what the Most High will do for our brothers when they can accept his righteous judgment. Because when I accepted that righteous judgment, the same people that were laughing about me got taught by me as they appointed me the head Sunday school teacher in church over all of the men. And I was the baby of the whole church, the youngest out of everybody. Those things that the Most High began to do, he did them before the very people that laughed at me because they didn't understand the spiritual thing that was taking place. And they still laugh and they still talk. Wasn't that the one that was on the floor? And the Most High said, well, they still don't get it. So I'm going to take you from the Sunday school teacher and I'm going to put you teaching on Wednesday night. That I'm going to elevate you at every turn until every mouth that laughed and mocked what I was doing is stopped. And they kept going. And he said, I elevate you and I'll put you over these deacons, over these old men. You'll challenge them with my word. And then he said, I'll elevate you. He said, I elevate you because you got preachers in the pulpit that can't comprehend what's being said, whispering about you behind them. So I'll put you in a pulpit and let you spill my word on them and challenge them where their leadership is concerned. And it didn't stop. Because as I come in the truth, and begin to be declared as a false prophet and ostracized and criticized all over the city of Kansas City, Missouri, he said, I ain't through with you. I elevate you and I'll put you on Facebook and I'll put you in contact with millions of people that will hear my word. So not only will you be known in your city, you'll be known in your state, and they'll know you all over the country. They'll spill out of the country and know you in Africa, know you in Israel, know you in China, Russia, Germany, wherever it is, wherever men have ears to hear, they will hear the voice of my people. They're going to hear the voice. Hallelujah. When you can accept the righteous judgment of the Most High. This is my life that we're talking about. But it has to be balanced. These are the things that I went through. And I know that I went through some things that many brothers ain't prepared to go through. But you don't go over there coveting nobody's gift or blaming no woman for the condition that you were in. Here's a testimony going before you, telling you if you're going to get the breakthrough and the favor of the Most High, it ain't but one way that you're going to do it. You got to go through the process that he have set up for you. And when he going to bless you, he got to have an empty vessel to pour his blessing in. That means he has to break you for everything that is in you. There can't be nothing in you left. So, that's my testimony. Because we want brothers and sisters alike to understand that we're not harping on anybody. And we're not calling people out just so shame can be exposed. We display the word of righteousness with the life that we have been living. And through our personal experiences, the Most High gives us wisdom as we lean on him and are able to endure and persevere through the things that he sends us through. And when you know that he is sending you through things, and you know that at the root of the things that you are going through have been caused by your own personal rebellion, then you have to be able to accept the righteous judgment that he has put on you. If you're going to get up, if you're going to be able to walk again, you got to be able to accept the fact that the Most High has put righteous judgment on me. He loved me so much that he is willing to cut every single thing away from me so that he can have me to himself. Some brothers ain't learned how to heal yet, and you in somebody else's bed, ready to mess up another woman. So, it is what it is, but that's part 2 of the video, so I hope that somebody been blessed by it. Shalom.